Dash Quinn.
Dash Quinn! Welcome back. I haven't done one of these in a minute. Welcome back to yet another table talk. Today we are here with security breach. I know you can't see it. You will in a minute. But yeah, security breach. As you can see, there's 3 other people here with me. You've recognized 2 of them if you've watched my other table talks, but there's one new one. We'll get to her in just 1 second. But we're here with Captain Matt. Say hi.
Ahoy there, Captain Matt, ASMR.
YouTube. Rexy, our newest member to the table talk. Say hi.
Hello, my name is Rexy and I exist.
Lovely. And last but not least, one of my favorite people to have on my table talks, Lucy. Say hi.
Hi, so I'm contractually obligated to call my channel by its real name today, so Lucy Lilium. I make SpongeBob and educational game reviews, I guess.
Thank you. Yes. Very excited. As I said, you will... Oh, hey, not yet. There we go. Security breach. Matt, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the 7th installment? No, it's 8th.
Yes.
Eighth main game. Because I think Help Wanted came before this. Yes.
An Ultimate Custom Night is not considered a main game.
Yeah, no. Anyway, yes, you're here. I personally don't care for security breach. I checked out at FNAF 6. I checked out because it was a great ending. Really, it's a really well-deserved ending. But yes. Start off with our first question. How many of you have played this game? Start with Lucy.
I'm going to be blatantly honest and say I have not. I have watched Markiplier play it, and I think his playthrough speaks for the game pretty well.
Rexy?
I have not played this game, but I have watched Markiplier play it too.
Lovely. Matthew?
I have played through this game on PlayStation 4. I have platinumed this game.
Oh, we've got a true expert among us here.
Pokemon Platinum.
Yeah, whoa. Similar. Platinum meaning he's got all the trophies and he's basically 100% of the game.
Shout out to my best bud for helping me with that, by the
There
way.
you go. We love Best Bud.
Number 1 FNAF fan in the house.
So, of course, you guys know my answer. I don't play this game, nor do I plan on playing this game. Not on YouTube, not ever. I don't care for it. I don't have the same spark as I did for the first 6 whenever I look at this game. But yeah, it's good in its own right. Just its own right doesn't appeal to me. So we'll go with what's the most since none of us have played this, we'll skip the hardest night, easiest night stuff. Go with what was the scariest, if you have one, part of this game for you? We'll start with Matt.
Oh goodness, the scariest part, and thinking about, okay, we're not going to talk about the scariest night, the easiest night, or what have you. What's really unique about this one is we're no longer talking about 5 nights at Freddy's anymore. It is simply the name now that is drawing people in with that. But this isn't 5 nights. It is 1 night until 6 a.m. And the chapters throughout the game happen in half-hour or hour intervals or what have you. So the scariest part, I think, is once you have completed that game, you are presented with a situation where you have only 1 save remaining to complete the whole rest of the game, to get any extras, any secrets, and just the stress that is induced by only having 1 save is quite scary.
Absolutely, it's a Majora's Mask, completely different game, but a Majora's Mask kind of feeling. You're limited. You got things to do, and you have very limited amount of time. Yes. Rexy. Yeah, scariest part of this game.
The scariest part of the game for me was probably the introduction to Burn Trap. That just spoke out to me the most.
Lovely. We'll talk about him later.
Okay. My answer's fairly clear. I knew this right away. The frickin' DJ Spider Music Man, dude.
Oh,
I
oh, so sorry. Go ahead.
I giant things, I can't handle them. I was terrified growing up with the Goosebumps book with the giant praying mantis on the cover.
Ugh.
It's like
Hmm.
I can't do giant things,
Uh,
and it's like this whole time this dude is like in the corner, just like they kind of allude to him like he's kind of there, but then he's not really fully there, and then he comes out and chases you, and oh my gosh, the thought chills me. I'm not big on giant things like that.
So it occurred
It
to
might come
me.
back.
As something that's worth noting, as a someone who watches a lot of videos about spiders, his eyes very much look like real spider eyes.
DJ.
Just fun note.
So I said I did a little sigh there because I immediately forgot to add a picture of DJ Music Man, and it must be said like he must be mentioned because that moment and that lead up to him chasing you is easily the best track from the entire like in the game entirely. I listen to
Yeah.
that track all the time because it's so well put together, and
He's a DJ.
it describes the mood and the atmosphere perfectly. Yes, the scariest part for me, Mapbot, because it got Mark, got us both at the same time. I said a lot of extremities. Matt just screamed, or Mark just screamed. Excuse me. Yes, we'll skip the non-scariest part because every bit of this game besides that is not scary.
Well, and that's interesting, right? It's no longer a horror game. It's more of a suspense game. It's more these animatronics are prowling around, and it's not we have to figure out how to close a door or shine a light in their face. It is how do we do what we need to do with them in the same building as us. It's just more suspenseful than horror.
Survive the night.
It's survive the night with a bunch of things all over the place that might try to kill you.
And that are
just
very
survive the
loud.
night before you get mauled by animatronics.
Go through this amusement park and try not to get slaughtered by the attractions. That's just me every time I go to a regular amusement park, so it fits.
So I couldn't tell you when in the game you encounter the daycare attendant. Like what hour specifically, but
So they're going to be the first real challenge that you have after the sort of tutorial section.
Huh.
They present you with the challenge of needing to find the four, or I believe it's 5 generators while the lights are off, and you're running through the playset area with the night or the moon character prowling around and kind of hunting you down throughout that sequence.
lovely. Let's talk about him. Wonderful, amazing, talented voice actor that I know, Kellen Goff, voice acted for Son and Gregory. Plus probably somebody else, but those are. And I think I'll start off here. What my thoughts about the daycare attendants were. I like how they fly. It's funny. So out of place, so weird, but it's good. It's good weird. Great moment whenever he fell backwards, but the lights and all that, and he chases you. Yeah, I think he was a really nice addition to the franchise. Start with Rexy. This think of daycare attendant.
I thought they were cool, but I thought they were a little bit annoying, especially the son character. I just thought he was like too annoying. Like he's hard to like because he's just all over the place in his voice.
Yeah.
I feel like he was like a bit of an obstacle at the beginning until you really like you steal the key card and turn off the lights. Then it's more of like try to hide and get away from the moon character.
So
Oh.
so drastically different.
Yeah, drastically different.
So I'll be honest, I have not read all of the books, and that might shed some more light on this question, but what was most fascinating for me about these characters is, what are they? Are they animatronics? Are they puppets? Are they people dressed up in these costumes? These are characters that we just aren't given any sort of background, any lore. And I mean, they're a challenge, but we've encountered animatronics, we've encountered puppets previously. We don't know what they are, and that's kind of the most unnerving aspect, I think. And aside from that, during the whole sun and moon sequence, there is a missable collectible, which personally irked me that I had to go back and replay the game just to pick that one up. But yeah, just the mystery surrounding their lore was the most interesting aspect.
That's a great question. What are they? They fly. They're cheating.
Like a good
Sun and the
question.
moon. What do you think?
Oh, got him.
No, like,
We
what
understand.
are they really? Are they like animatronics? Are they puppets? That's
Right,
actually a good question.
They're pretty neat. That's the answer.
Why aren't you talking about them, Lucy?
If
What do you think?
If they are robots, they're some damn good built robots.
All right.
Being able to do that janky movement.
Yeah. So to start off, I actually really like their design and whole concept, even though their pants would give the impression they didn't make it to the bathroom in time. But I like their whole deal. They look really cool, and they also have a very interesting mechanic in the game.
Yes.
But I'm also going to mention, as someone with a Twitter and Tumblr account that I use pretty frequently, I've seen some unsavory posts about these characters on a fairly regular basis. So the fandom tends to have views on them, and I will say it's tainted my image just a little bit of them. But if we're to look at them strictly from a game perspective, I thought they were really interesting. I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool character concept. But I will admit, in the whole ball pit arena that they're in, it can get a little repetitive. It can get a little annoying. I remember Markiplier was getting frustrated with them. Like, I will admit that's kind of the thing. But I like their base deal, and they're really cool.
Yeah.
Also, we all know what they are. It's mystery.
I think it adds to the characters. I like the broken faceplate look of.
Yeah.
I like they forgot where the bathroom is. I like that. Nice image.
I like Moon's voice, to be quite honest. Moon's voice is pretty nice.
Voices.
But Sun's voice, I hate it.
They look like what I would get if I paid $50 for a entertainment act at my little cousin's birthday party. It's like not paying the big bucks, and you're getting this sort of deal.
You get your money's worth. You get your money.
Yeah.
Definitely. Peekaboo. All right. Let's get into the animatronos. We have buddy's favorite, Glamrock Chica.
Chicken.
Chicken.
Not a big fan of glam rock, but yeah, glam rock Chica is okay. I'm a big grunge fan.
Talk to me. Tell me about her.
She's pretty cool. I actually really liked Glam Rock Chica's edition in this game, and I liked her kind of character direction because, like, obviously it was kind of a different sort of deal. And I really did find her kind of threatening at some points throughout the game, but I really like her design as well. I think it suits her. So I do remember her part seemed, obviously I didn't play it, but it did seem pretty tough. So that one, I appreciate her for her existence.
Matt, go ahead.
So, for one, I found it interesting that they decided to have one of her characteristics be that she enjoys consuming garbage. We always know that she loves pizza. That's always been part of her character. But how we lure her, how we trap her, and eventually dismantle and destroy her is utilizing garbage. So that was a unique turn. also, and just the fact that she is probably the most prevalent animatronic across the whole Pizzaplex. You'll see her in the atrium, and then 5 seconds later, she is in a completely different location. Playing through, I think she probably caused the most game overs, the most jump scares, because of how she is just all over that Pizzaplex.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the garbage. That was really
She's Sonic.
I like
It's so
that.
weird.
That explains it. She's Sonic the Hedgehog.
So she
Goofy.
Sonic likes garbage. Talk to me, Rexy. What do you think about Chica?
I liked her design, and also what Matt said. She seems to focus a lot more on garbage than she usually does, and that's how we basically lure her. We lure her with the smell of pizza, and then we use the garbage compactor to basically smash her and then steal her voice box.
Which is super up.
I did
Yeah.
find that to be one of the most difficult parts of the game, is turning on those generators and trying to dodge her in that underground area.
Yeah.
Chica.
Yeah, I remember that.
And also, like Matt said, she is all over the Pizzaplex. Like 1 minute she could be like down in the basement. The next minute she could be like at the main entrance.
Wild.
Wild.
She's on steroids.
Chica. I love Chica. I love Chica. I've loved Chica throughout the games. FNAF 1, 2, 4. Melonhead, maybe not, but I love Chica's design. I love her voice. I love her features. For the garbage, definitely a turn off, but everything else I really enjoy how they put her together. You know, it's really nice where she gets. We won't talk about it today, but it's really nice to see that she gets her voice box back in a different type of game. Maybe a DLC, possibly. But yeah. On to the next one.
You know, you did say that her eating garbage was a turnoff. I think that enhances everything.
More power to you. I just couldn't be me. So now we have man who likes to say Gregory. How did you get up there? I won't say it because I don't want to get copyrighted, but I would love to. Everyone, you've seen the video. You've seen the video. Don't lie to me. You know what video I'm talking about. Glamrock Freddy. First person you see, I think, right? Yeah, either that or Vanessa. But everybody again, Kellen Goff, amazing job, lovely job. He's got such a range on him, from what was it, Funtime Freddy to this low voice, and Freddy was such a high pitched scream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry, I did Lucy last. Matt, start us off.
Sure. What an interesting idea to make one of the animatronics on our side, right? We've not seen this except with, I think, Helpy, and giving us an ally in this scary, suspenseful environment. I think it was really interesting and really cool to have Freddy as somebody that we could use as a way to hide, as a way to progress the story. It takes an element that has been missing from previous games, that the story can be conveyed through him. We are always working on upgrading him. We are always working with him. And that aspect, I think, really enhances the whole game.
I forget to think about it that way. That Freddy is our only ally in the way of electronics, but it's such a golden point. Thank you for bringing it up.
Golden Freddy.
Sure. Golden Freddy.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Rexy.
Yes, we're now talking about Glamrock Freddy, the only animatronic that is on our side during the playthrough. What I saw in him was he's like a parent to Gregory. He's there helping him explore through the Pizzaplex to find.
We love father Other
And that's very interesting because, like Matt said, he's like one of the only animatronics to help us besides Helpy, which is great because we needed something like that.
Yeah, I feel like it's long overdue, if you ask me. I would have loved like a monkey wrench, maybe 3 or 4 games in that you have
Yeah.
some help. But
Monkey wrench.
I like Freddy.
Yeah.
I like
and you
the
think
Lego.
about Baby helping us out in Sister Location, and we were presented with the idea that, oh, maybe one of these animatronics is trying to help us, isn't on our side. And that might be something that players are concerned with as they're working with Freddy. Why do we continue to trust Glamrock Freddy even though we've been betrayed and all these other animatronics are hunting us? How do we know he's not trying to trap us? How do we know he's not going to turn us over? Why do we trust him? Why do we like him?
That's a good point. That's a great point. I'll let Lucy go.
All right, first of all, everyone say hello to my dog. She just joined us for this discussion.
Hello, dog.
Second of all, okay, Freddy is very interesting because he is very much the type of. I feel like I was suspicious of Freddy the whole game. Like I was thinking, is he gonna betray us at some point? Because I did kind of have that instilled fear, like, he's a little too kind. But at the same time, I felt like he was very wholesome throughout the game. Like I did kind of like his dynamic with Gregory. And also I gotta mention, it's very warm to see because like he's trying to kill you in every game before this. He's this vicious, murderous monster guy, and now he's like your best friend who's helping you through it. It's kind of like nice to see, actually. So I really liked Freddy's direction in this game, even if it was memeable.
It was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, it was.
I loved being able to go inside Freddy, and run around, and that's a really nice feature. Run ability.
Yeah.
That Freddy. Except for Freddy had power. That does not raise the question of like, do the other ones have power? And if they do, why do they not like shut down in the middle of the nights in the last 6 games? You know what I mean? Like what sets Glamrock Freddy apart from the other ones? But maybe that's intentional. Maybe Freddy was always meant house a small man and a boy small like house a child inside his inner cavity. Maybe he was designed purposely for that, but we'll never know.
Freddy was designed to house a small man. You heard it here, folks.
That's exactly what I said, and I'll say it proud.
You heard it here, folks.
I will also say that when theories were coming out, when the game first dropped, I did subscribe to the one that made the claim that he was a sort of stand-in for Michael Afton. Michael Afton's spirit sort of possessed this animatronic to help out the crying child, being Gregory. And while there's probably evidence for and against that, we don't want to get too into the weeds on it. It did make a lot of sense to me. So if that is the direction they were going for with that, I think that was really neat how they made Michael Glamrock Freddy as your ally and just having the two brothers, as it were, to working together in this game.
Nice to see. Let's talk about
Gregory.
How did you get up there? A lovely child.
Gregory.
Yeah.
You need to climb in.
There's not much to talk about with Greg. Greg is you.
You
are Greg.
He's a protagonist.
Yeah, main protagonist. The dumb kid. Gotta be that dumb kid. Yay! I don't know.
Freddy was made
With a weird voice.
Well, he's pubescent, So, what, Rexy, start us off. What do you think about Gregory? Excuse me.
I think Gregory is a nice addition to the FNAF franchise because, as you know, you're always playing as like mainly security guards. So it's nice to get a change of pace playing as a child, being able to see like all these animatronics from a kid's point of view. Because to a kid, all these animatronics are lovely, nice. And to a security guard. The security guard basically knows what these animatronics are up to. So it's just nice to see that what you get to see with Gregory. You get to experience like having Freddy as like a main, like the second main protagonist to help you through all of the Pizzaplex. So
Instead of being a night guard with trust issues, you get to be a kid with trust issues.
exactly.
Metal animatronics. I'll leave it up to whoever wants to go next.
Go for it, Lucy.
Like Gregory is a nice stand-in for the protagonist role. Like, oh, my dog has a lot to say about Gregory. Okay, I don't know if you can all hear that, but very vocal. But yes, Gregory is a nice stand-in. I feel like he fulfills his purpose. Like you could pretty much slap any story on him, and he's the character. So yeah, not the symbolism. I actually hadn't heard that theory until today. So that's a really neat theory if that's true. I actually very much appreciate that. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about him.
It's interesting you mentioned, there's not a whole lot to talk about. He's a dumb kid, where he is one of the biggest points of contention with this entire game. The idea that it was put forth is, okay, is Gregory a robot? There is evidence to support that one way or the other. The biggest thing I think that we look about with Gregory is just the mystery of who actually is this kid? Does he live at the Pizzaplex? And what is his relationship to Vanessa or Vanny, which I assume we'll talk about here in a bit.
Yes.
But we see areas of the Pizzaplex that are clearly showing that somebody is living there. Whether there's a sleeping bag, there's snacks. It looks like somebody, and we either know it's Gregory or missing children. We don't really know, but that would be interesting to kind of delve further into that. Additionally, when at the end of the game or post game or what have you, you are able to collect these hidden CDs or records and play them to hear two separate sets of, I believe there's psychological evaluations or conversations between a character that we don't hear and a psychologist or psychiatrist. And if we assume that one of the patients is Vanessa Vanny, and the other character may or may not be Gregory. If it's true that it is Gregory, then there's the implication that Gregory is more or less offing his psychologist or psychiatrist. It's a patient that goes through them for one reason or another, and we don't really get clarity on that, but it does beg the question whether are we playing as the good guy or the bad guy, or what is Gregory's true agency?
Very great. Very wonderful.
That's great.
Breakdown.
Great, Matt.
Monty Gator.
Okay.
Lucy, start us off.
Okay, so first of all, I was very annoyed when I found that Five Nights at Freddy's had a fictional character named Monty, because my girlfriend at the time and I co-wrote a series and we just debuted a character named Monty, and we're like, oh my gosh, completely ruined it. It's going to take up all the search results. And yeah, as a character, I don't have much to say about him. I think he's fine. He fulfills his role in the story. I don't think he's the most interesting character in Five Nights at Freddy's history. But yeah, he definitely leads to some shenanigans when he's chasing you around, that's for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Problem, but yeah, he's super fast.
You also get this terrible jump scare.
Oh, hey now.
Hey now.
Excuse me. Technical difficulties. Rexy, what did you think of Monty Gator?
My opinions on Monty was he was a good character, but I have a feeling that was the replacement for Bonnie. He was the replacement for Bonnie in the
that's
band.
A mood. Then what's Roxy?
I don't know.
Yeah,
But my other opinions on Monty are he's a worthy adversary to go against because with the Faz cam, it's hard to blind him. Same with the blaster. There's no way to physically blind him because of his glasses, so it's a lot harder to get away from him until after you defeat him in his boss battle and steal his claws.
he doesn't get like thrown off Monty Golf and like breaks
Yes.
half.
He breaks his jaw. Yeah, he breaks in half.
My God, he's broken in half. Matt, finish us off.
Yeah, so to Rexy's points, she kind of alluded to the 2 or 3 things that I was going to mention myself. First off, when he does break in half, he does still maintain functionality to where he can still jump scare you. Granted, he's crawling across the floor, and it is quite pitiful seeing him try and jump scare you doing that. But to her point about him being a replacement for Bonnie, there is evidence to suggest that as you're going through the game, you are collecting up these presents, these gifts, these duffel bags, and these notes. And the notes seem to imply that in order to advance his own success, in order to become part of the glam rock band, Monty dismantled or destroyed or tricked Bonnie, and that's why we don't see Bonnie in the game. Whether there's any merit to that is anyone's guess, but it does get a bit muddier when we look at what is implied in the DLC. I know we weren't going to talk about that, but it is something. It does beg the question: why was Monty created to be this sort of stand-in for Bonnie? And then also, Rexy, I did also have some issues with the trying to use the camera, trying to use the blaster. The sunglasses on Monty were quite a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, some certain like I don't know DLC kind of show. Funny, maybe I don't know, but we won't talk about it today. Monty, you're cool looking. Go you.
Vector the crocodile.
I don't know what else to tell you. You look, you're far too fast for your own good. So I wouldn't. That's like another reason why I wouldn't play this game because I get way too pissed off with Monty cutting corners and getting me. That's it. So move on to the next one. Everybody's favorite.
I
Let's
don't mind her getting me though.
Hey-o. Roxy.
Ayo.
What's this? What's it? Rockstar Roxy? What is it? Roxanne Wolf. That's her
Roxanne
name.
Wolf.
That's her name. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Let me start off with that Super Saiyan 2 Gohan little curl on the front. I see you. And I'm glad you got that reference. Roxy's rude, but like that playing hard to get rude. Everybody loves. I love Roxy, except when you like gouge your eyes out and she listens to you only by sound. Like somehow knows where you're at, even if you make the slightest sound in that one part of the game. I remember that one. It's a core memory. So it's a pass for me, but she looks cool. Let's start with Matt this time.
I would say that of the 3, Monty, Chica, and Roxy, Roxy's the one that probably has the most personality, the most characterization as she's hunting you down and you're going through her boss battle and everything. To the point where you almost feel pity. You feel sorry for taking her eyes because she's crying, she's sobbing after that boss battle, which is one of the most difficult aspects of the game, in my personal opinion, trying to lure her through the fire and to break down walls. As a character, I see both sides of why they would select a new character and replace Foxy. We see Foxy in stand-ins, and Foxy's still part of the game, but being a pirate myself, you hate to see somebody get replaced.
Oh yeah, and Roxy Foxy. Come on, you could have tried a little
Exactly.
harder than that. I guess Roxanne, but still,
Yeah.
you could have tried a little harder than that. Rexy, go ahead.
Like what Matt said, you genuinely feel sorry after her boss battle because you steal her eyes.
I don't.
But one of the things I have to say is Roxanne does have personality. She has like this personality of she thinks she's perfect and she has to be like perfect or else no one will like her.
She looks perfect,
And
am I
then
right?
yes.
Yeah, I know.
But the thing is like she like the way she hunts down, she runs after you with this longing to just snap your neck. So my input is she's hot.
Heyo,
That's all I
Lucy,
have
your
to
turn.
say.
So I don't mean to cheat on the polar bowler fox, but Roxanne kind of.
Oh man, you dog.
Roxanne, like, I'm not a furry. I'm gonna preface that, but Roxanne, yeah, Roxy's cool. Now, this is conflicting because obviously I've said in previous table talks, Foxy is my favorite. It always has been from the beginning. So it is kind of a shame knowing that Foxy was kind of replaced in this. But at the same time, I think Roxy was a fine replacement. And yes, it was gut-wrenching listening to her after you take her eyes. I actually did feel kind of emotional during that moment. But at the same time, yeah. And yeah, she's a threat. She's definitely someone you don't want to run into in the game, even though she's clearly made to be appealing in some regards. But at the same time, I'm a big fan of her. 10 out of 10 character. Would definitely be interested in engaging with in some capacity. Yes.
Settle down. Settle down.
If you weren't a fan of Roxy's character from the mainline security breach, then certainly the DLC will give you some sympathy and make you like the character, I would say.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, true.
I don't know that because we don't know what the DLC is because we don't even know what that is. Anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, Roxy. Oh, I was gonna say, can you imagine Foxy in this game? Can you imagine him just bolting for you down the hall? I would just simply quit the game.
In the first one.
I would just simply quit the game.
I can't.
I'm kind of glad that Foxy's not in this game because I just.
Foxy comes through door, jump scare.
Vanny.
I love Vanny. Vanny is such a nice character. I love the suit. I love the glowy eyes. I love the glitch in your system whenever she gets close.
I love Vanny.
Vanny's really nice.
The suit's so stupid, but it's funny.
But it
works.
Works. That's it. That's the word. It works. Yeah. The skip, the glitch in your camera, the glowing eyes, the jump scare, the everything works. It's weird, and I'm all about it. That's my input. Yeah. Rexy, start us off.
So we have Vanny. Vanny is like a apprentice of Glitch Trap. And she's basically like one of the main antagonists of the game.
The main
antagonist. And she's basically like hunting you down, trying to murder you before you basically figure out her plan to help resurrect Glitch Trap. You basically see her counterpart, Vanessa, during the beginning of the game, where she's trying to find return him to his parents. So yeah, she's an interesting character. Definitely not someone you want to find or interact with. She seems unhinged.
Very. Rock, paper, scissors.
Poor Lucy.
Just kidding. You go.
All right. Vanny is interesting because obviously, if you know her whole deal from what was that game called Help Wanted, definitely a complex character and really indicative that sometimes the writers actually care in this game. So she's pretty interesting. I remember not being really scared by her as a character, but again, I think she really works. Her whole deal is a very necessary addition to the game. And I do like the whole kind of everything she kind of represents, I guess you could say, in the universe. It's very She's a very intriguing character. I honestly didn't think too much of her. I just kind of appreciated her presence in the story as the villain and stuff. It was actually until much afterwards that I actually looked into like all the complexities. But yeah, she's good.
Yeah, and I'll kind of piggyback off of that. If you take this game in isolation, you really miss out on a lot of her characterization, a lot of what she represents. She's simply the security guard villain that you're trying to dodge for 6 hours. But having played Help Wanted, knowing the sort of history with Afton and Glitch Trap and what have you, that gives you a bit more sympathy for this character. It makes you want to play those Princess Quest arcade cabinets to try and free her mind from the control or what have you. One of the most confusing aspects, I would say, is the ending that shows her jumping off of a building, but also at the top of that building. Are there two Vannies? Was one a ghost? What's the answer there? The DLC sort of touches on that ending as well, so I won't go too far into it, but I would say that giving us a potentially sympathetic villain, especially when you're listening to those records and you can hear her psychological evaluation, you hear her struggle, you can trace her from being this simple woman to one of Afton's disciples. You can hear and listen to that progression. You feel that sympathy. You feel that's just how painful it is for her to be going through all of this. And you would miss out on that if you didn't have Help Wanted or the previous games sort of surrounding that.
And I definitely didn't, so I have no clue what you're talking about. But that's okay. Vanny's wonderful. And I do like when you touched on that one ending that really threw me through a loop whenever Vanny was on top of the building, but Vanessa was on top of the building.
Yes.
Off.
Yes.
Wild.
Vanny versus Vanessa. I assume we all know that those are the same person, but it's a good point.
Same person, different personalities.
One leads to the other. Burnt Trap and Blob. Blob that kills him initially. That is
The blob that killed everyone.
Yeah, this is actually what killed him. I really liked this part. I really enjoyed this part of the game because it felt like a callback to her and somewhat 3. Trap. There's a trap in there. Should have died in the fire from 6.
He always comes back, Quinn.
Yeah.
He does.
It's like that weed that
really
won't leave.
does.
That weed that won't leave. Take us home,
The
Matt.
weed that has daddy issues.
There it is.
So what's really interesting about this entire sequence, not only are we taken back to the Pizza Simulator FNAF 6 restaurant, buried deep beneath the Pizzaplex, but this was the only ending that they... it's difficult to know what ending is the correct, the canon ending, right? It felt like this was the ending. We got to see Burn Trap. We are given a final little final battle here with him, and then we see Glamrock Freddy and Gregory escape. Spoiler alert if you haven't completed the game. But we learn later that is not actually the canonized ending. So why was this one put so much time and effort into? There's animated cutscenes. There's a whole boss battle. Why was so much time and effort put into this ending if it is not the canonized, this is supposed to be the ending to our story? And from a character perspective, makes perfect sense. We've got Glitch Trap down there. William Afton never goes away. He's always causing trouble. Makes sense why he's got Vanny working for him. That all perfectly, it makes sense. The Blob is an amorphous, what is this nonsense? Why is that there? We're never given an explanation for it. Why are some of the animatronics got lit up eyes? Why do they appear to be still active? Others do not. Why are some animatronics in there and some aren't? That is a complete mystery to me. So I'm curious to hear y'all's take on it, but that's me for this one.
Yeah, I definitely will say like I feel like this is the canon ending. Like there's no way it isn't. And I really appreciate, yeah, it does kind of turn back to the original format for a while, and it does really feel like a nice way to wrap it up. Like this is kind of like the true way to end the game on the most positive note. And like both the Blob and Glitch Trap are very like they feel like legitimate final bosses and like legitimate nice final plot twists. Like again, Glitch Trap kind of just being the other William Afton coming in and now just kind of like revealing to kind of like be behind everything, and it definitely makes for a satisfying conclusion. I feel like, because if you get the other endings, none of them really feel particularly satisfying, to be perfectly honest. But then we actually find out like who the one behind everything is and get a pretty satisfying conclusion to the whole thing with his being taken out by the Blob, aka Tangle.
Rexy?
So basically what both Lucy and Matt said is true. You have William Afton back again for no apparent reason, trying to do whatever the heck he's trying to do. And then you have the Blob. The Blob. I have no idea why that Blob is there, but it's great because you get to see like all of the melted animatronics. Some eyes
Yeah.
are lit up and some aren't. Maybe there's a reason to that. But going back to William Afton, William Afton, like, he has like visible damage to his suit.
Body.
And I feel like, yeah, wind or body. So I feel like this might be his last appearance, maybe.
That is if we don't go back in
It was-
time.
New villain,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah, new villain.
For Vanny to take
So-
over.
That's basically my representation of this. It was
Nope.
scary. The battle was scary.
I just don't
Okay,
care
I'm
for
done.
Springtrap.
Yep.
I just
care either.
don't. But like FNAF 3 ruined it for me, and so every time I see its trap, I'm like, the fuck ever.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Really? Yeah.
Bring
it's
it
like
back to what Lucy said about this feeling like it should be the end, like we're defeating the final boss, we're defeating Afton, and the fact that this ending is the only, and somebody please correct me if I'm wrong on this, but this is the only 3-star ending when you're given those stars at the end. But we know that it's not. We for some reason know, based on DLC, based on the evidence that is presented to us, that this is not actually what ends up happening. So why make a 2-star ending the canonized ending? Because it allows you to then bring back this character. It allows us to explore what was going on here without having killed off these characters, right?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Just bring them all back.
It does make sense when you look at it like that, Matt.
Oh, okay.
Woo.
Finish this off
Good
today.
point.
Well, quickly, let's talk about DJ Music Man. DJ Music Man, love him. I love that sequence. Him yeeting
okay.
like boxes at you. That was really cool. And when he like
Yeah.
goes and grabs you from the bathroom when you're trying to take a shit, and he just scoops you up. Good moment.
When that
Excuse me, I'm using the restroom in here. Can you not?
Nope, and he'll reach your hand and he'll like forcefully grab you. I love that. I want to just talk to the animators who made that.
But I'm not done.
My God. Oh, there's nothing worse than having an unwiped butt when a monster
man.
attacks
Oh man, tell me about it. Don't. All right, endoskeleton. Matt, take us home.
I was going to point out that Music Man for me also was probably the most exciting sequence. I think the music, the lighting, having him reaching into that bathroom, that was all just, it was so well put together, and it's a wonder that there couldn't be more sequences like that throughout the game, but I digress. The endoskeletons, the gimmick here being if you're looking away from them, they get closer to you. When you're looking at them, they stop moving.
That's the
It
weeping
is
angels,
just...
right?
Absolutely the most suspenseful part because you don't know how fast they're moving. You don't know how many of them there are around you. And as you're trying to make your way through the hallways, it becomes tighter and tighter. You don't want to bump into them. There's only limited places to hide. So for me, I think personally, this was the most difficult aspect of the game now that I'm reflecting on it, but it is having all of those endoskeletons following you.
Easily. I never played it. I honestly I get really stuck at this part and I would stop playing for a while. I just don't. I don't like weeping angel. You look
Alright.
away and they follow you, and you look, or I guess Boo from Mario physics. I don't like those. I'm really bad at those because I get cocky and then I forget and then I get humbled and it's just not fun for me. But you see, go ahead.
All right, so the endoskeletons are actually interesting because they're representative of like the overarching motivation in throughout the Five Nights at Freddy's series that we're warned about of like, oh, they're gonna stuff you in a suit if they see you because like the endoskeletons are like in all the animatronics. Like they're kind of like the things moving around and so like it's kind of interesting to just like see these villains now appear in the game as like they're almost like a callback to the original format of the game just in motivation and concept. So it is kind of nice to see, but again, their mechanics are very rough. Like again, that's scary and they are quite in abundance throughout this game. So yeah, especially toward
Gosh,
the end.
when your day, you get to the next chill. They're
Yeah, they
quote
are.
unquote
They're,
deactivated, and then
they're just waiting for you. Yep. That's how it happens.
see, take us home.
Okay, so as Lucy said, the endoskeletons are interesting because what's possessing them? How are they moving without casings?
The children.
And also another thing that's like the scariest thing is you're in a dark enclosed space with them, and you can't always have your eye on them, and they move fairly quickly.
Yeah, if you could
So
see
it's
them,
like
they actually.
it's genuinely hard to get away from them without getting the occasional jump scare.
I think it's a skill, and
Yeah,
I think the game devs knew that too. Wanted to throw some real skill challenge. Yeah.
yeah, challenging,
All right.
challenging.
Definitely the most claustrophobic part of the game.
Yeah, for
Yes,
sure.
I can agree with that.
All right,
Claustrophobic.
ladies and gentlemen. I don't have a lore screen, but is there any lore you guys would like to talk about before we finish up today? Mostly Matt.
So I know this was discussed in game theory and what have you, but the idea that the devs really seem to be throwing a lot of ideas at the wall and just kind of seeing what sticks, because there's a lot of cool aspects of this game, things that we've already discussed. We didn't touch on the post-it note room that seems to represent the Afton family, and what does that all mean? So there's a lot of small Easter eggs and small callbacks in this game, but what does it all mean? Where does this fall in the timeline? That's very unclear. So for lore and where this all kind of is leading, it's a good baseline if it kind of would manage to break away from the previous games. If it can start anew, and maybe that's what's happening with the books, I see a bright future moving forward. It's a really interesting idea. This Pizzaplex, this Vanny as the villain, and obviously what we see in I keep bringing it up, the DLC. I hope that we can keep building off of this. But for what it is and what it means to the game's past, it just muddies the waters.
Yeah, Tails. Anybody else
Um,
like to talk about lore?
there's only one thing I want to say. If they are gonna create another FNAF game, I at least want Bonnie to be in it so we can at least get to know about the character, other than just seeing his body.
Maybe the DLC, but I don't know. I've never heard of it though. Sorry to interrupt you. Spoilers.
It's okay. I can understand that. No spoilers here.
All right. So honestly, it would be nice to see more expansion. Obviously, I have not touched on Ruin. I can't say for what would happen for what's been revealed there or any of that.
I don't even know how to name it.
Oh yeah. So I have to see that before I really say my thoughts, but I do think it's very there's a lot to go off of, and it introduces a lot of new interesting mechanics and just plots to build off of and keep the series going. So it would be nice to see like this be an ever evolving thing, especially since the series kind of goes through time as well with the occasional jumps back. So it is nice to see the
Love
series
those.
evolve like in real time. That would be cool to see what they come up with in the future regarding stuff like that.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for joining me on yet another table talk. I hope to have one or all three of you back on table talk once more. Like I said, I want to branch my horizon out to other games. Cross that bridge when we get there. I'm quite tired right now. That's why I sound drunk. I'm not. I'm really sleepy, but got a job to do. Thank you, Captain Meta Samar on YouTube. Thank you, Helium on YouTube, and thank you, Rexy, my
Thank you
great
for having
friend.
us.
Thank you.
Thank
It's
you
been an
for having us.
honor to sim for Roxanne in front of an audience.
Roxy, call me.
It was an honor to be here. It was great.
It's always an honor to have an audience with me. So much for watching. Go check out the Fazbear Entertainment Storage playthrough I did. Hopefully I'll get this video up tomorrow, which will be Sunday, I think the 27th August. So there should be that. But yes, check that out. Donkey Kong videos on the way. I'm gonna get to episode 100. Till next time, see you guys later. Dash Quinn. We hit those.